Okay, so this is the top half of my xj700X 1986. It is the water-cooled version, not from California. I don't know if that really makes a difference. However, things I've learned so far, when I'm trying to take out the cam or disengaging the cam chain from the cam gears, what I found is once you release the cam tensioner, they gave it some slack, but not nearly enough. So what I did, per Mr. Hogfiddle's suggestion, was, I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, I took a yellow paint pen and marked it inside the gear to the cam so I knew exactly where it was. Released these two 8mm bolts right here, took the gear off, slid the cam out, and that allowed me to take the rest of the other cam out, and this one. And I did the same thing to the other one too, marked it so it would be a little easier to find. One of the things I learned right after that was when I went to separate the top half from the valve assembly, I didn't take out any of the buckets. Alright, so when all these were in here, and I lifted it all out, and I'll just put one in right here. When I went to separate it, I don't know if you just heard that, but that was the bucket, which fell through. And that was not really what I was hoping for, but it doesn't say anything in the book about it. It's probably, most people would probably say, oh, that's just common sense. Well, if you've never worked on a bike like this, or this kind of a valve assembly, yeah. Anyway, just a learning experience. Once I got that apart, I removed all of the springs, valve springs, and retainers. And what I found was that I had two exhausts right here on the number 2 cylinder broken, one on the intake on the number 4 cylinder, and this is what the valve, well, this is what the upper half of the valve guides look like. Oh, what's left of them, I should say. And there's the bottom, where it broke. Same thing here. You can see that, but it's bent right there. Same thing with the other one. The other intake is over there, it's bent as well. There's also, in the book it doesn't say, or at least I didn't realize it, there's four, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are water jacket entries, or access points, and that's a 10mm Allen head, and then it's got a flat aluminum washer. 1, 2, 3, 4 again, and I didn't realize that they didn't need to come out, but I took them out, and they were quite the project actually. A lot easier once I got it off the bike. I was watching another YouTube video, and I don't know if you can see it in here, but I actually tapped and drilled and tapped these two out, and went to put a 6x1.0 thread, all thread bolt about this long in there, and then tried to put a washer over it, or a socket, and then a couple washers so I could turn it down and it would pull it out, but it snapped, so apparently it needs to be grade 8. And I was just doing this just because I've already got the jug and this part coming in the mail. Should be here next week. But on this one right there, I bent, because it's aluminum, it bent it right there. So I'm not really too worried about that, unless I ever have to put this back in service, but as it is, not at this time. Yeah. So I just thought I'd do this video and show you what I've learned from my mistakes. And a year ago I had this redone, put new, well, I thought I had a head gasket going, and when he tore it all down, it wasn't the head gasket. Basically he wasn't sure what it was, I guess. But he did tell me that the number 3 cylinder right here was out of round, so I I was hoping just to have it re-honed and just slap some new rings into it, because he said it was on the just within specifications. So, well, not even 1,000 miles later, like I said, I just was running it one day this time last year, parked it in the garage, and it never started again. So I did the electrical tests for everything, all the components. Did a compression check. I had 60, 65, 90, 60, so they were all well below 150. And prior to that, I did check the valve clearances, and they were all out of spec except for one. So that was the process of starting to tearing it down. But like I said, I got a whole new one coming. I know it's going to be from Chappelle on the XJ vendor site. It's going to be like $20 a pop for these new valve shims, about $300. So I've already spent I've spent about $300 already just on gaskets and other parts necessary for this. I didn't have any ring compressors because I was in all mine are for diesel or automotive, so I had to order 2 new ones that come apart. So once I get the cylinder or the new piston rings and such, put it all back together, I know that I have to do the 2 center ones first. So I need to have 2, one for each one, and then do the outer 2. From the videos that I watched, seemed to make the most sense. Everything else seemed to mic out. I've been using my micrometer, checked all the cam lobes, basically everything that I can that I'm going to reuse. So hopefully that'll work out. But right now I'm just waiting patiently. Well, not really patiently, but I'm waiting for my parts to get here. Alright, well, until the next one.